Hello everyone and welcome to my day in life working as a software developer. But before we get started, if you're new to this channel, my name is Katleo. I'm a self-taught software developer and on this channel, I just share some tips and my experience of how I became a software developer in order to help you guys get motivated, get inspired, and make it easy for you guys to get into the field. Okay, let's jump right into it. So instead of doing a long video where I show myself waking up, brushing my teeth, and doing all the other stuff, which are just really the basics of life, I'm not going to focus on that. I want this video to be short in order to focus on the important things so you can know how it's going to be like or what to expect when you start working as a software developer. So as you've seen on the title, I'm working for a New York based company. I'm not working for a company that's located in South Africa. So I'm going to work, so the time zone is going to be really different. It's a 7 hours time difference. So my day starts at 3:30, so that's when I start working. But everything that I do prior to that time is personal, so I focus on my side hustles and everything. So I'm not going to talk about anything that I do prior to that time. So I'm just going to focus on what I do at work, so that we can make this video short and so you can know what to expect when you start working as a software developer. So like I said, my time starts at 3:30. So from 3:30 up until quarter to 4, that's when I focus on the emails. So I check my emails to make sure that I'm up to date with everything. I need to make sure that I know what emails were sent yesterday because like I said, the time difference is really big. So although I might go to sleep, but in New York, people are still up and they might send some emails. So I need to make sure that I respond to every email that I get. Not really every single email, because there are emails that are important than others. So I'm going to focus on the emails that are important. So that needs an urgent attention. So I'm going to reply to those emails first before moving to the other ones. But most often that really just takes me about 15 minutes. So around quarter to 5 or quarter to 4 rather, that's when I'm done with sending the emails and checking all the emails. Then from that time, from quarter to 4 up until 6, that's when I work on the tickets that have been assigned previously, or that I've been working on previously rather. So I need to make sure that I finish all the tickets that I've been working on before I move on to the other tickets. So just to give you like the stack that we're using Angular, we're using Nest.js, we're using Microsoft Azure as for CD and CI. That is continuous development and continuous integration. So that's just DevOps. So those are the stacks that we're using. And there are some other stacks that I'm not familiar with. So I'm not going to mention those because that's not what I work with at the company. So basically at this company, I work as a software developer, but mainly I focus on the front end instead of the back end. So most of the tickets that I have are more focused on the front end. So yeah, that's what I work on. We're using Angular, like I said. So I'm going to focus on the tickets that I've been working on previously to make sure that I'm done with those tickets before I move on to the other tickets. So that's from quarter to 4 up until 6 o'clock. Then at 6 o'clock, that's when we have our first meeting as a team. The main reason for that meeting is just to know what everybody's working on. So we're just going to mention what tickets we're working on so that the project manager can know what we're working on so that he can track everything. So we're using Scrum methodology, and for that we are using Microsoft Azure. So with Scrum, basically we have tickets that we are assigned, and on those tickets we can basically change the state from active to maybe QA to complete. If you've completed the ticket, then you can move it to QA if you just push the changes, but your code still needs to be reviewed, right? So we're using Scrum. Also on those tickets, we can also change the estimated hours. So what you think it's going to take to complete that ticket. So we can include the hours there. Then we also have the remaining hours. So how many hours are remaining for you to complete that ticket. Then we also have completed hours. So we can include how many hours it took you to complete that ticket. So usually it might take you less time or more time. You can estimate that it's going to take you 3 hours. Then it might take you 5 hours to complete that ticket. So basically the reason behind that is just to help the project manager know how many hours it takes you to complete specific tickets, so they can know if they should assign you those tickets or assign that ticket to another person, because it might take less time for another person to complete that specific ticket. So it helps them know how to create the tickets and who to assign those tickets to. So that's just Scrum or the Microsoft bots. So that's just how they work. We have sprints and everything. I'm not going to get into Scrum, like the whole Scrum methodology. If you want to check that out, you can check it out, because most companies usually use Scrum, or Agile methodology is another framework for Agile methodology. But if you want more information on that, you can just search Scrum on Google and you get more information about that. Then from 6:15 up until 7 o'clock, that's when I focus on the new tickets. So I just spend about 15 minutes or 10 minutes looking at the tickets that are on my board to know which tickets I can really knock quickly. So the tickets, basically the tickets that are easy for me to complete. So I check the board to know which ones. Then just mark them off and start working on those tickets. So I don't want to work on the tickets that are going to take me more time, because at 7 p.m. that's when I have my dinner. So I need to make sure that I work on the tickets that are not going to take me more time to complete. So like I said, yeah, I focus on the tickets that are easy to complete. So once I'm done with those tickets at about 6 p.m., that's when I have my dinner. It takes me about 30 minutes maybe. Usually it takes me about 30 minutes. Then also I wash the dishes because it's late. I won't have another time to clean everything, the dishes and everything. So I spend 30 minutes eating, then 30 minutes cleaning the dishes to make sure everything's clean in the house. Then from 8 p.m., that's when I get started with the tickets that are much harder to complete. So basically go back to the board and start marking the tickets that are much harder to complete and start working on those tickets. So if you're facing any challenges during the time you're working on a ticket, you can just call another person or chat with them and let them know you're working on this ticket. If they have an idea of what you're working on and if they can help, they can help you. So just make sure you just basically message every other person, and if they're able to help you, you can get on a call and they can explain everything to you, so it can make it easy for you to complete that ticket. Or if maybe the ticket is not really that straightforward, you can let your boss know so that he can explain what to do, basically like what you are needed to do. So the tickets that are much harder to complete are those tickets where you need to create a new feature, like a new component on the page, and it needs some more functionality, right? So those are the tickets that will take you a bit of time to complete. So yeah, those are the tickets that I focus on. The tickets that are much quicker to complete are those tickets where you just need to change a color on a button, or change some text on a button, or on a paragraph, or anywhere. Just basically change some text to something else, or remove some text that they don't need anymore. So I focus on those tickets prior to me eating dinner, because after dinner that's when I become more focused. So after dinner, that's when I focus on the tickets that are much harder to complete. Then at 10 p.m., that's when we have the official Scrum meeting, where everybody else needs to hop on a call, and we're going to discuss everything that we've been doing during that day. We just mentioned what we've been working on and where we are at the moment. So if you've been working on a ticket and you've been facing some trouble and nobody else seemed to really get what you're working on, or basically they didn't really know how to help you solve that specific problem, you can mention that on the call. And if you didn't really message everybody else, then you can mention that you've been working on this ticket and you're having a bit of problem. You're stuck basically. So that's when another person who has faced that problem before can be able to help you, assist you with that specific ticket, so you can knock it off, right? So yeah, on that call, we just basically mention what we've been working on that day, what tickets we've completed, what ticket we're working on, basically. So also, if you're stuck on something, you can mention that, and somebody else can be able to jump on and help you after the call or after the meeting. So yeah, the Scrum here will just mention those type of things. And also, if there are new updates, they can also mention that during the call. But usually we just mention what we've been working on and what we're working on. But sometimes there are new updates that I need to mention, so we have the meeting to include everything. Then after the call, which usually takes about 15 minutes, but sometimes it takes less time. Usually on Fridays, it takes less time. because everybody else just wants to hop off and do their hobbies or whatever thing they want to do. But yeah, during the week it takes about 15 minutes to have that meeting, but it's supposed to take 30 minutes, but usually it takes about 15 minutes. If it takes longer than that, it means there are new updates or there are discussions and everything. So yeah, that's the meeting that we have at 10 p.m. Then after the call or after the meeting, that's when I start working on those tickets that I was working on, the harder ones, because those ones might take me a bit of time to work on. So I focus on those tickets until around 11 o'clock. That's when I take a break. So I usually take about 10 minutes break or 5 minutes break to make sure that my mind is refreshed, because I can't just focus on the screen, looking at the screen for a long time. My mind can get stuck sometimes. So you might face a problem, but the reason you're not really able to solve that problem is because you're just focusing on that problem and you just don't want to take a break. So if you take a break, you'll be able to think more properly while you're off the screen. So I take about 5 minutes break or 10 minutes break, depending on how much time I need to be able to refresh my mind, right? Then I go back around 10 past 11. I will go back and work on those tickets up until 12:30. So at 12:30, that's when we're supposed to knock off. So I just take that time, like from 10 past 11 up until that time, working on that ticket. I go all in and to make sure that I finish whatever I've been working on, whatever task or whatever ticket I am working on at the moment. So at 12:30, that's when everybody knocks off. Yeah, basically that's how my days usually like during the week, working as a software developer for a New York-based company. So as you can see, the working hours are really different. So it might not be the best idea for someone else to work at a New York-based company, because as you can see, the time difference is really big. So some people don't really like working at night, so it might not be the best choice for somebody else to be in the situation that I am at the moment. But I'm grateful for this opportunity to work at this company. The everything that I'm providing is perfect, so that's why I actually took this opportunity. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. You can just basically try to evaluate if this is the right path or this is the right field for you, but don't focus on the working hours, because you might work at a company that's in your country, so you'll not have any trouble there. But just focus on what a software developer does. So everything that I've mentioned that I do during the time when I'm working, just look at that and try to evaluate if this is the right field for you. So as you've heard, I spend most of the time looking at my PC. So if you're not the person who likes spending more time looking at the computer, then I wouldn't advise you to study software development, because you spend most of the time looking at the screen. So if that's not what you want to do, then this is not the right field for you. But it has its perks, but don't really just go into something just because it has these perks or the money and everything. You need to make sure that you do something that you love. Of course, yeah, sometimes you can do something you love after you get the money, but yeah, just try to evaluate if this is the right path for you based on everything that I just mentioned that I do at work. And of course, it's going to be different for other companies. Even the company that I've been working at previously, their structure is different. Everything is different basically. So it's not going to be the same for every other company, but this is usually what happens at every company as you're working as a software developer. So the most thing I enjoy working at this company or working at this job is that I'm learning new things basically. I'm not really that good in Angular. I'm more good in React. So immediately when I started working at this company, that's when I learned more things about Angular, some other things that I didn't really know, like observables and everything. Angular is a big framework, so it has a lot of things. So I learned a bunch of things as I was working on the Angular projects or the tickets. So that's it for this video, guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get notified whenever I release new content. Alright, thanks guys.